and a warm welcome to today's listeners. Allow me to introduce myself as the host of today's episode. My name is Amanda Dounis. I'm the founder of the Positive Thinking Clinic located at Wallow Creek, Sydney. Here at the Positive Thinking Clinic, I see clients of all ages. I see individuals, couples, families, and small groups. I conduct psychotherapy and use a variety of modalities delivered through counselling techniques and hypnotherapy. I am a professional counsellor, clinical hypnotherapist, and strategic psychotherapist. I'm an early childhood teacher and an NLP master practitioner. To learn more about what I do and what I offer, visit my website www.positivethinkingclinic.com.au. The easiest way to connect with me on social media is to search my name, Amanda Dounis, or my clinic, Positive Thinking Clinic. You may also access my social media at the bottom of my website. I am the author of My Coping Skills Handbook, aimed at kids aged to 12 years of age. I have also turned this into an online course. I have a range of podcasts that can be found on amandadounis.podbean.com. In addition to the Positive Thinking Clinic, I am the owner of 4 early learning centres. I am passionate about quality care and emotional wellness of all ages. I believe we set the foundation for emotional wellness from a very young age. My early learning centres are licensed as Positive Living Skills Services. I also have an emotional wellness and kids Facebook group. One of my greatest hobbies is learning. I think I am always enrolled in a variety of courses, no matter how small. I enjoy adding to my skill set. As an integrative therapist, I learn diverse skills and select the best fit for any situation. If you wonder if I have any other hobbies, I am also into fitness. I have run a number of marathons, including 2 ultra marathons. So that's me in a nutshell. If you want to get in touch, you can use the contact form on my website, positivethinkingclinic.com.au. I would love to hear from you. Signing out and moving forward. You're listening to Amanda Dounis. Today we have George Pegios joining us. George Pegios is the founder of Help My Pain in Double Bay. His main interest is hypnosis for medical pain. He's done a diploma in hypnotherapy. He's a strategic psychotherapist and a master NLP practitioner. If you want to find out more about George Pegios, visit www.helpmypain.com.au. He is very interested in pain management, chronic fatigue, and fibromyalgia. He's also interested in writing and publishing. You can contact George through his website. You can also be part of his social media. Find him through Help My Pain on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube videos. George also studied at Sydney University doing his dental degree. He has since then done some consulting work. He has developed consumer products and a variety of other interests. He loves the outdoors. He loves golf, scuba diving, and has also lived in Bali for 2 years. He was always interested in hypnosis. First, he started with NLP, and then he realized from his lecturer, Gordon Young, that he offered strategic psychotherapy and clinical hypnotherapy. He found this really interesting, especially the way that it impacts all aspects of human beings. Since then, George has furthered his knowledge doing a variety of other courses. So let's see today what expertise George can share with us. Okay, George, so good to see you again today. Thanks for joining in.
I've got to say the pleasure is mine again. Thank you so much for hosting this, Amanda.
Well, today we decided that we're going to talk about why choose hypnotherapy. You and I both know why we should choose hypnotherapy, but for our listeners out there, what's one of the reasons you think, George, that somebody should choose hypnotherapy?
Well, I'm sure that we're going to cover a few of them, and there are a few very important reasons, but what I like to say to my clients is that hypnotherapy is really the original and the best. It has been around for literally since the dawn of man. Um, it's been used very successfully, and it has had many iterations and improvements and modernizations over the years. And in the last 100 years or so, it's really seen the most rapid development in helping people getting, rapid results, very great results. I don't know what you, yeah.
There's been a lot of backup by science as well. There's been a lot of studies to confirm the effectiveness of hypnotherapy as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It started the modern style of hypnosis started around the 1860s, where it was used very heavily for help with surgeries, helping people getting better after illnesses. And it was only really with the development of anesthetic agents that it went into the background for a little bit, but it's since hit a resurgence in the last 30 to 40 years. And as you said, it's been heavily backed by science. Anyone can do a Google scholar search and find literally hundreds of articles, scientific articles from some of the best, medical schools and universities showing great results for hypnosis in many aspects, whether it be anxiety, depression, whether it be healing with specific illnesses. It's been fantastic.
That's right. And the beauty about it is that it's organic. It comes with no medication, no injection.
No side effects.
Except maybe pleasant ones. Providing, okay, whilst we're talking about side effects, of course it needs to be delivered by a trained hypnotherapist, and so that we always make sure that we're following our ethical guidelines and delivering what we've been taught, and that way we do no harm. And in that way, yes, no side effects except only pleasant sensations afterwards, and hopefully a pathway to change for what people come in for. Hypnotherapy.
Well, that's very true.
Yep, yeah. Go on.
So, look, that's actually a very good point. Hypnosis, even though the whole therapy is considered hypnosis, there are different aspects to it. There are understanding what is the issue. There's what we call the hypnotic induction, getting someone into this hypnotic state that we can make the effects that we need. But then more importantly is how we make these effects and how we approach them, how we deliver them to the client. And I don't want to use, I'm hesitant using the analogy of a coating of a capsule or a syringe in giving the analogy of injecting into the body. But hypnosis is both the way we put it into the person, the suggestions, but also how we speak, the way that we use the therapy and place it and help the person with it. And if there's incongruence between those, if the therapist isn't trained properly and doesn't understand this, that's where things may not go 100%.
Yeah, so hypnosis it's usually considered an aid to psychotherapy or counseling or another form of therapy, because the hypnotic state allows the individual to explore painful thoughts and feelings or memories that they may have hidden from their conscious minds, and it allows people to perceive some things differently. And when you talk about pain, it allows the individual, for example, to block an awareness of pain. So it's like suggestion therapy. And I'm saying this because our listeners will be wondering, what do we use? And it is, in a way, suggestive. So the hypnotic state makes a person better able to respond to the suggestions. So these suggestions are what we use under the right conditions, so that some people can change certain behaviours, such as stopping their smoking habit or even nail biting. It can help people change perceptions and sensations, and it's it's truly useful in helping with pain. Would you agree? You kind of specialize in that, George.
That's right. It's hypnosis helps to, and we covered a bit of this in one of our previous episodes. It helps to people take a step back. So not perceiving it or not experiencing it in the first person, they're able to step back a little bit and put things in perspective. And pain, for instance, is a very good example, that a lot of the pain that people experience chronically is not so much what's related to any damage or anything that's happening right now, but a certain memory and expectation depending on what happened in the past. So by stepping back, we can unravel some of that and focus that there are different parts of the body that are quite healthy and are pain-free and not experiencing anything, and being able to break down that that vicious cycle which is happening, which is creating the chronic pain, if that makes sense.
That's very helpful. Using the healthy parts at that moment in that person's time of life is what we can utilize. So to answer or to stay on path with why somebody should use hypnotherapy, I know that we've covered it in a previous episode, but basically hypnotherapy, it's a guided relaxation. So there's one good reason for someone to choose hypnotherapy. We know how nice that feels. It's also accompanied by intense concentration and focused attention to achieve that level of awareness that's extremely focused, also called or termed as trance. So the person's attention is so focused whilst they temporarily block out any external factors that may interfere with how they're feeling, or they can just give themselves permission to ignore it. And therefore, once they're doing that part, we do our part on specific thoughts and tasks. So one of the reasons that they should consider hypnotherapy is because it can help with anxiety. Isn't that one of the most problematic issues that people come in with your clinic, even if they're experiencing pain or ruminative thoughts or some form of trauma? Do you agree that they also accompany this with a certain level of anxiety as well?
Absolutely, Amanda. Anxiety is actually the cornerstone to pretty much everything that I see. It creates a certain amount of tension and expectation about what's happening what to expect. It's an unrealistic expectation, really, because they're focusing on the negative. And there's a lot of, if we take it back a little bit, there's a lot of reasons why the client might be doing that, but it sets them up. It sets them up for a lot of miserable futures, a lot of pain, a lot of negative outcomes that don't necessarily have to be because of this attitude. And people don't understand how powerful that emotion can be and how powerful their outcome can be to their detriment when they're taking that. And obviously they can't help it. There's been a lot of factors that have contributed to it. But with the hypnosis, we can scale it back. We can start unraveling that anxiety and help them with the healing and help them with positive outlook or a better outlook for many aspects of their lives, whether it be work-related, health-related, relationship-related, whatever related. It works quite well.
So there you go. One of the reasons why someone should choose hypnotherapy is to help them experience changes in their own sensations, because thoughts can also produce sensations in the body, or sensations in the body can produce thoughts. Hypnotherapy can assist people with a change in perceptions, overall thoughts or specific thoughts, as well as behaviours. So it's nice to know that hypnotherapy can also be used as a holistic approach. It's not just thoughts, and it's not just behaviours. So we use it in many areas. There's many arrows pointing everywhere, I guess. It's the suggestions for relaxation and calmness and overall well-being. It might last just for that session, but the key is that the clients go away having learned how to reactivate that when they're needed later on. So common approaches involve instructions to think about pleasant experiences, or we use verbal cues to draw them into a trance-like state. And it's these conditions that we create, which are, like we said, free of drug and just purely organic. And it's, whilst it's just done in a very pleasurable way with everybody's permission, that from there we use suggestions to create or to meet their goals, whether they're short-term goals or long-term goals. Hypnotherapy is really effective in creating the changes that they need for overall well-being.
Absolutely. And the incredible thing is also how rapidly this can work. I see quite often people coming in with chronic pain, for instance. If you can get them relaxed and get them into that zone, for instance, a zone of trance, and you're able to break that cycle on the spot, it's a very powerful message to the person, to the client. They can see that they can actually reduce significantly or eliminate totally any pain they're experiencing. So it's the rapid effects, and as we've spoken before with in our previous episodes, this technique, the techniques that we use, we're usually getting very good results only within a matter of a few visits. It's not like traditional psychotherapy where people are going for, months and months and years. We're affecting results very quickly.
And there's plenty of studies out there that indicate that hypnosis can do this effectively for long periods of time as well. It's not just for the short term. Basically, hypnosis helps you cope with pain and gain more self-control over your pain. That's what it does. That's the whole point of it. It's like what's experienced after surgery or from migraines or tension headaches. And chronic pain is a real big part. It's one of the common reasons that people come to seek hypnotherapy, of course. People with related conditions like arthritis or even cancer, sickle cell disease and fibromyalgia, I know you specialize in that as well, you have a great interest in that, as people who could come in with lower back pain. Hypnosis provides relief. It's not cure. That's the difference. They know that they're not coming for a cure. And if they are coming for a cure, we set the facts right, and we make sure realistic expectations are from either end. It's all about experiencing relief and doing that all by yourself, isn't it?
And reclaiming your life.
Absolutely. Another reason.
Another reason. Another reason I think is actually quite important as well is that with traditional, there are last count, there were about 500 different talking therapies. We're talking about, all the therapies that have been created in the last 150 years or so, whether Freudian or Jungian or CBT, Rogerian, there's a lot. A lot of them also focus on trying to understand where all this came from, where the anxieties derive from, or the depression. And yes, some people may want validation for that, but the difference with the hypnosis is that we might find out where it's from. We don't need the validation. We just need to work on it. And so a lot of people, they avoid going to therapists because they don't want to keep talking about it, talking about what may have happened when they were younger. And certainly we need to acknowledge that, but we don't have to sit there for very long. We can move on very quickly and help them break through that cycle without reliving those experiences and sitting with those emotions. And I think that's a very big difference to what we do, to what a lot of other therapists do.
Absolutely. We can always encourage our clients to be with whatever they're experiencing, but not be in it.
That's right.
That's the difference. And to be quite honest, with my experience, some clients, they've been to counsellors, and I'm not rubbishing counsellors, I'm a counsellor myself, but they've done the talk therapy. They've done
Yes.
it, they've done it. And I've heard so many say, I don't really want to say it all again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because with hypnotherapy, you actually don't have to say it all again. You come in with the symptoms that present today, which were different 5 years ago and which may differ again in 5 years' time. We work with what's here right now and the resources that you have right now. So hypnotherapy, I think, is a beautiful modality to get clients unstuck from where they are right now. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's how it works, and that's its major strength as well. That you effect rapid change using what resources the client does have, and everyone's got resources, and being able to amplify those, bring them into the present, and help resolve any issues they have, and create and effect a breakout so that they can start living their life again, and as I said, reclaim their life.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hypnosis can be a form. It's a relaxation technique, actually, and it can be used for easing anxiety.
Absolutely, in and of itself, that's right, and can teach the client as well. Give the client many different tools to help when if they ever experience anxiety for whatever reason again, they'll know how to tackle it better.
Yeah, that's right. It using the technique of hypnotherapy, the client learns by themselves to encourage their own body, to activate its natural relaxation response, which differs in intensity and degree from individual to individual. That's why we call it self-hypnosis. And we use phrases or non-verbal cues sometimes to slow the breath, lower blood pressure, and just allow them to create an overall sense of well-being. These are the important ingredients when they're faced with anxious situations or worrisome or phobic moments or any thoughts that trigger a fear response. So hypnotherapy it's really, really useful, especially with phobias.
Absolutely, yeah. What I was going to say was that, as you said before, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. The only difference is that we act as guides. We help them using our knowledge and our understanding of it, and observing the client to guide them into that right state, into that right spot where we can affect the changes within them.
And another good reason to come for a hypnotherapy session, those clients who have trouble sleeping, who experience insomnia, even the ones who sleepwalk.
Yeah.
During that part of the night when they need to unwind, yep, sure, we do our hypnosis session. They can take home an audio, they can listen to the session that we've created with them, an individual one or a generic one. But like we said, it's self-hypnosis. It's a tool that they can use all by themselves to improve their quality of sleep. Or let's say if they wake through fright or through sleepwalking, they can use hypnotherapy to train themselves to wake up when they notice the moment that their feet are about to hit the floor. And so that this can help them avoid sleepwalking, or somebody who wakes up during the night, instead of them doing the usual pattern of, oh, I've just woken and how am I going to get back to sleep? They retrain themselves to do their own hypnosis session so they can find their relaxation, their rhythm, and get themselves back to a better quality sleep as well. They've done the studies on this, and they have found that those who use self-hypnosis before sleep to improve their sleep have changes in their activity on the scans. So again, there's another proven method just by using self-hypnosis, or just by accepting hypnosis as a modality.
Absolutely. And from what you're saying there, Amanda, it looks like there's not much that hypnosis isn't good for.
Well, then let's talk
Seems
about
like
quit
it's pretty good for
smoking.
everything. So I just got to switch this off.
That's all right. We forgive you. These things happen. I was much more prepared than you, George, and I've got mine switched off.
Sorry, I forgot to. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It happens.
So you're saying?
Quit smoking. How many clients come in or choose hypnotherapy to quit smoking?
Unfortunately, I look, the success rate is phenomenal, but unfortunately, what I find is that people use hypnosis as their last resort.
That's true.
They've been everywhere and they've tried the patches and they've done this and they've done that,
The
and
gum.
they'll stop for a little while, then they'll start again, and they come as a last resort, and that's what I find frustrating because with most of the clients that have come in, I've reduced or eliminated cigarette smoking in the one visit. They have got other issues, and we can talk about that. There's an anxiety issue or there's some other issue happening. But we
Stress,
do
yeah.
get all stresses, but we get amazing changes in the first visit, and it's crazy. And people still use it as a last resort. Yeah,
That's
I
okay. I
find it
guess
frustrating.
we can reframe that to our benefit to know that, well, they've exhausted every other avenue. By the time they come to us, they're actually really ready and fed up with smoking.
Yeah,
So
they
we
really
can,
are.
I guess we can see it that way. But I must emphasize, they must really want to quit smoking. They can't come because their wife says, oh, you have to stop smoking, or their boyfriend says, stop smoking, or because they think they should, or because it costs too much. They've got to actually really want to quit smoking. That's the underlying, well, that's the very first question I ask.
That's right. It's got to be a real problem for them, not for
Yeah.
someone else. Yeah.
And it's not that difficult really. I mean, like you said, it can be a one session wonder unless we choose to do further sessions or pre-sessions for other reasons as to why they're smoking, for example, stress. So
Yes.
they can find through hypnosis a healthy, effective replacement action, which they can't do that having a logical conversation with someone. They usually
No.
only achieve that and master that during hypnosis. And then they can guide their subconscious mind towards their new way of being rather than smoking. So that's the simplest way to explain it. It could be something like, well, instead of smoking, I'm going to take a walk. Logically or consciously, having thought that to themselves, they don't think that that's good enough. Yet during a hypnosis session, that's their plan and that's what they contract with themselves and that's what they end up doing. And the end result is they are no longer smoking.
Well, that's true. I mean, logic doesn't help at all. I mean, if you look at it on the face value, you buy these cigarettes and they've got pictures of people dying and of all sorts of ghastly things, and that doesn't stop them because you can't use logic.
Yeah.
It's beyond that. It's got to go
But
inside the person. It's got to be primordial. It's got to be inside and hit them inside where they see it differently.
yeah, that's what hypnosis does. It trains their mind, because they allow this, to associate smoking with undesirable feelings like bad taste, or saying that, oh, it tastes like an ashtray, or a foul odor from smoke that surrounds them. They train their mind during hypnotherapy, and that's why that's successful.
That's right. And also, when we're dealing with smoking as well, there are so people smoke for all different reasons, and they also smoke at different times of the day for different reasons as well. It might be a habit when they wake up and they have to have their cigarette with coffee for breakfast. They might have a cigarette at work, like around 10 or 11 o'clock because they're stressed or they're bored or
Mm.
whatever. And then in the afternoon, there's different reasons. And then there's also at the end of the day when they might be with their partner after a meal, they'll sit on the balcony and talk or something. Again, so we've got to break it up. For what reasons do they smoke?
Mm.
And obviously how many and all that kind of the history of it. And we start systematically breaking it down for them.
And that's why we have an advantage, because we're strategic psychotherapists and we know how to do that side of things for them as well.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Another good thing, hypnotherapy, weight loss. However, hypnotherapy doesn't make you lose weight. I've got a number of weight loss tools that I use. One of them happens to be hypnotherapy. So hypnotherapy alone isn't going to make someone lose weight, But hypnotherapy is a good reason to come so that you can lose weight, because it's going to help you combine diet and exercise changes. That's what it is. Just like with the smoking example that we use, that a logical conversation doesn't necessarily do it. Same with weight loss. When someone needs to lose weight, they can sit and wish and hope and dream that they'd lose weight, but it's not until that they decide unconsciously they're going to make changes, that's when the weight starts to fall off. So it makes...
Oh, look, absolutely. I always give the example of those shows like The Biggest Loser. I've never watched it. I've watched bits and pieces. I've just watched the commercials for it, but I've been told a lot about it. You know, these programs, they select some very overweight people. They have the best gym equipment in the world. They have some of the best trainers in Australia. They have dietitians. They have these psychologists, you know, motivators. They all do this. But the minute that, and these people lose weight, but the minute that the show's over, the minute that everyone starts going home and the lights are switched off in the studios, those people go back to their bad habits again. And the studies have shown, and you can look it up, and I encourage people to look it up, most of the people that have lost weight after about 2 to 3 year period have put on pretty much all the weight that they lost. And a significant number of these people have put on more than what they had lost in the first place. So the reason why people, again, overeat and don't exercise and all this stuff is quite complex. And what you said before with our strategic psychotherapy, we analyze what the reasons are, and we can break it down again and work on those. The only difference with people that, and it is very successful, the only particular thing that I like to add with losing weight is that we do need to do a follow-up. I do need to do a follow-up with clients every 6 to 8 weeks, like a top-up hypnosis session, just to make sure that they're on track with their goals and they're doing well, because it is, you know, they can lapse, but the results are great anyway. They're fantastic.
I agree. Support needs to be provided afterwards, and you need to be available for that kind of support. Thinking back to what you said about the TV show, I wonder if they would have considered, if they were to redo a show like that as part of mental and emotional wellness or change, if they would have considered any form of hypnotherapy for their own change, so that they can, because those shows, like you explained, all the factors that help them lose weight were all external.
That's right.
Whereas
absolutely.
we need to be internal and in charge.
Work from the inside out. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, put back in normal conditions. If you've had successful hypnotherapy where you've done internal change work, it doesn't matter where you are or what food is in front of you. You are in charge internally. And that's why you lose weight, and that's why you don't have to battle emotional thoughts, or things just change for you when you do a session on hypnotherapy, as opposed to relying on motivation. I think that's people's most common hurdle. Eventually, after 2 days or 7 or whenever it is, motivation has an expiry. And that's because they're trying to go on a diet at a conscious level. Whereas unconsciously, there's no expiration there. It's a lifestyle change. So the results happen to be inevitable. You're going to lose weight because you're not eating as much, because you don't feel like eating as much, because you've cut the emotional relationship that you have with food, or you've changed your relationship with emotions and food. So hypnotherapy does wonders when it comes to weight loss.
Absolutely. Well, again, with quite a few things that we touched upon today, what we were talking about is basically willpower. And willpower is overrated. Willpower works for small things. And it's like, again, I give this analogy of driving with your both feet, one foot on the brake and one foot on the accelerator or the gas. And, you know, for a little while, the gas is going to override things because the engine's powerful. But after a while, it'll just give up. You can't do both. You need to tone down the system. You need to get it all working in balance again, with a healthy attitude, with the, you know, right lifestyle choices, things like which you will naturally take on once everything's back in balance again. And we can't work on willpower.
No, that's right. And so the best state is internal or inner absorption. That's where we make change. And again, I say this for the listeners. This is one powerful reason why you should consider hypnotherapy. It's this focused attention that's key. It's not a focused wish and desire. It's the attention that you do to yourself all by yourself. So it's your own skills that you use. This is what helps your mind become more powerful. That's the difference.
And might I add as well is that we don't realise that we've got, we mentioned resources. We have incredible resources, and we have incredible amount of infinite wisdom within ourselves. Just that we've got so much chit chat occurring most of the time that we dampen it down, and we don't really access it enough. And hypnosis offers an opportunity through what we say as therapists for them to unlock a lot of that and to see things and access that inner wisdom that a lot of people, that everyone has basically, and everyone can break through.
That's right.
It really is amazing. We're just navigators. We're just navigators.
Yeah.
People, once we set people on course, we just get out the way and let them do what they have to do.
Yeah, that's right.
The human condition is amazing. Once it's unshackled, once it's free from any limitations, it's humbling. It's that incredible.
The hypnotic state, it allows the person to be more open to, as we've said, suggestion and discussion. It can improve so many conditions, like we've only touched on some: phobias, fears, anxiety, sleep disorders, even depression and low moods, stress, trauma, anxiety, again, in all its forms, grief, loss, smoking, weight, work stress, or I know I said stress, but it covers almost anything. But the one thing I must say that we also must be careful, because hypnotherapy is not for absolutely everybody. A person who has psychotic symptoms like hallucinations, delusions, or people who are on drugs and alcohol, we don't go there.
No.
Also,
no.
Could you think of any other reasons? There is one other: epilepsy. So if someone has epilepsy, I wouldn't be doing any hypnotherapy work with them either. But for the general public, and when I say drugs or alcohol, that doesn't mean that if you have a drug or alcohol problem that we don't.
But you can't be actively. But you can't be actively taking it whilst you're coming in.
Right.
Therapy. That's right. Because it makes no sense, because then we won't be able to work with them.
Yep, that's right. And we're not working with a true, genuine self at that particular time.
That's right. That's right. It's distorted.
Yeah. So I hope that we've provided just a general overview of why someone should come for a hypnotherapy session. While it's just come to my head as well, it's also good for focus and attention for university and high school students. They come and they do hypnotherapy as well, learn techniques, unbusy their mind, gain their confidence, and there's just a number of pathways. But basically, habits, anything else that you can think of, George, while
actually, I was going to mention that. Obviously, focusing and getting better results at school, but also for business as well. You know, a lot of people have to perform multiple roles in business these days, and sometimes they lag behind in their ability to focus when they're doing a lot of computer work, for instance, or need to study, need to complete different modules for different aspects of their work that are required these days. Hypnosis can help create that right attention, that right focus that'll help them achieve their goals as well. And another one as well that actually someone that came to me recently was help with public speaking as well. Because these days you have to present quite often in front of groups of people. And this actually is the wife of a friend of mine. She embarked on this career in real estate, and she can talk to 2 or 3 people in a small group. But then if you put her in front of a group of 5 or 6, she just clams up and she can't talk. So she needed skills, she needed help to deal with that as well. And I thought that was actually quite interesting.
Yeah, it's quite common, hypnotherapy for public speaking, hypnotherapy even for procrastination as well. You just made me aware of something about that as well. But procrastination for hypnotherapy, it's such a great, someone can be procrastinating and you ask them, for how long have you been doing this for? And it's for years, or they'll say all my life. And then no logical conversation from even a teacher or a parent or a colleague or their partner can get them from stopping that pattern, because that's what it is. It's a behavior pattern. And yet hypnotherapy is able to do that because they do that all by themselves. So yeah, hypnotherapy is a really great tool for public speaking and procrastination as well.
And sport achievement if they want to as well.
Wow, we can just go on and on. But I think, George, we'll leave it at that. I think
well, Tom, for that we can do that another day.
A whole topic by itself, that's right. So for all our listeners, thank you for listening. If you wanted to reach out to George, you can find him on helpmypain.com.au, and I'm Amanda from positive-thinking-clinic.com.au. And till next time, thank you so much, George, for all of your input. Very grateful.
Thank you very much, Amanda, for the opportunity.
Okay, so I'll see you soon.
Bye.